on understanding legal matters, basically looking at the need for us to zero our mind on some concepts that may seem not to be clear before the viewing public. My name is Philip Omo. Today we're going to be looking at marriage under the Act. You agree with me that last week we dealt exhaustively on the customary marriage and all that pertains to, the contract, all that pertains to dissolving the marriage and the requirements needed. But we did promise that we're going to be having marriage under the Act today, and where we're going to be looking at issues surrounding what marriage under the Act means, or statutory marriage, or that pertains to the requirements that defines its conceptualization. And with me, I have the managing partner of Noah Attorneys based in Benin City, Nigeria. He is a legal practitioner, of course. Dan Osa.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Philip, for having me again today.
All right. It's quite awesome. And we have been having a lot to do with marriages. And today, we want to understand what marriage under the Act means, or statutory marriage. Can you give it a hit?
Well, it simply means English marriage, or marriage that is by English law. You know, the other time we were talking about 4 different types of marriages in Nigeria. We talked about statutory marriage, which is marriage under the Act. We talked about customary marriage. We talked about Islamic marriage as well. Of course, there's also cohabitation. When a man and woman, they live together and they start behaving like husband and wife without being legally married, without the dowry being paid, or without being married in any institution. So maybe they just live together and they start having children. So that is cohabitation. But today, of course, we want to talk about statutory marriage, which some people also call marriage under the Act. And it is the marriage that is official, the one people call court marriage. They call it court marriage. They go to the registry at the various local government registries, and marriage is conducted for them. They exchange marital vows. This type of marriage is a lot stricter than maybe customary marriage as we know it here. Customary marriage is a bit flexible. You know, the man has a lot of privileges and rights, and the woman is much more subjugated. You will see that nowadays, for some years now, you know, you have more and more people tending to conduct the statutory marriage for many reasons. For some, it is for the woman to secure her marriage. For others, it is so that they will have the certificate to present in case one of the spouses relocate abroad.
Okay.
So it is becoming more and more popular. But it's the kind of marriage that the woman is a lot more protected, and the marriage is far more regulated than a customary marriage.
I think the viewers will want to understand what that means, because you made some very sensitive statements that could want us to probe for more questioning.
Yes.
In order to, elucidate that concept.
Yes.
You said in the customary marriage, the man has a lot of privileges.
Yes.
Unlike the marriage under the Act. So it means the marriage under the Act denies the man of a lot of privileges. Can you explain?
Where it is, maybe I can say marriage under the Act has more respect for the woman. Like in those days, a man could just bring his girlfriend to the house. and he can even tell the woman to go and cook for the girlfriend. But when there's statutory marriage, it is very difficult for the man to do that.
So which means marriage under the Act denies the man of having more than one affair, as long as he's having an affair with a wife.
If it is hidden,
in a matrimonial home,
because
it means that
adultery,
he is not permitted
adultery,
by marriage under the Act. Let's situate it properly.
Okay.
By marriage under the Act,
yes,
the man is not permitted to start another relationship that could lead into marriage, because he's already married. So he is seen as a man that is married to just a woman and not more than one wife.
Exactly. Now a man cannot marry more than one wife.
More than one woman?
Yes, in a statutory
marriage.
You cannot have more than one wife. It will become a crime, which is called bigamy, which is punishable under the criminal code. and even the, yes, under the criminal code, it is punishable. But where the man can have side chick,
the law doesn't frown.
No, if frowns,
side chick.
I will
Side
explain.
chick.
I will explain.
Codified in the Constitution.
No, it is not. I'm just trying to explain. Now,
Okay.
let's look at this so the people don't get the wrong concept.
Okay.
You know, if you are married under the Act, for instance, and you have extramarital affairs, if you hide it, it is not known. But even if you don't hide it, it is a good ground for divorce.
Okay, you mean the man,
It
if the man
it
is
one
discreet.
of the grounds. Yeah, if he's discreet. But even if he's not discreet, you know, adultery is not punishable under our laws. So the woman could use that as a ground for divorce. That is how far she can go.
If it says the
Adultery is one of
husband,
the grounds for divorce.
you know, having an extramarital
for
affair.
both sides. If the woman has
Okay.
extramarital affair,
Okay.
if the man has
We will delve deeper.
extramarital affair,
Okay.
then that adultery, acts of adultery, if it can be proven,
We will delve
is
deeper.
a good ground for divorce.
We'll delve deeper. Just in case you're watching, just starting, it's Law and You. And I believe the number is already writing on the screen so that you can pouch your responses to your questions, whatever apprehensions you have, whatever doubts, whatever speculations, you pouch it. That number doubles as a WhatsApp number and also for SMS, not to call. If at all you want to call, it should be after the program. And so we will be treating every detail of what you are pouching in to us via WhatsApp or as a short message. I know basically you're having a wide appetite on raising some questions. We have the lawyer here who is the managing partner of Noah Attorneys based in Benin City, Nigeria, and a firm of legal practitioners.
Thank you.
Hello. Let's carry the day along.
Yes.
Let's look at the aspect where we could say, what are the requirements of anyone that could be, you know, that would want to go into the contract of marriage under the Act?
It is
What
just
does it
for,
require?
it's just for you to be an adult.
Oh,
Until-
an adult at what age?
Adult from 18 years and above, you are an adult in Nigeria. You know, and it is also to be that you are consenting to it. You must not be cajoled. You must not be compelled to marry the person you want to get married to. In fact, being deceived into marriage is a ground for divorce. It's a ground for the marriage to be voided. Because that becomes a voidable marriage.
Okay.
When you are deceived into it. Maybe, okay, let me explain. Maybe the lady uses artificial breasts, artificial body parts. And she didn't tell you. And on account of that, you now go ahead to marry her. She didn't tell you, you are not aware. Maybe you people did not come together as man and woman before the marriage was conducted.
So deception is a
yes,
ground for voiding the marriage.
Exactly. So when you are deceived in any way, then when the man also deceives you and says he's a multi-millionaire and he has this, he has that, and he deceives the woman to get into the marriage. Yes. So when you now discover that deception, then you can't approach the court to dissolve the marriage.
Okay.
Because you were deceived into it. There are many grounds. There are many things that we can also look at for people to know. That we have now, if, for instance, the marriage was not consummated 2 years after the marriage, you can also approach the court for that marriage to be dissolved.
Okay.
Now, what I mean
because there's no procreation.
Yeah,
2 years after marriage.
not procreation.
Okay.
What I mean by consummation, if there was no sex,
coming together. I get that.
There's no conjugal relationship.
I get that.
Yes.
This also follows it. Why we are looking in that direction? What about in terms of procreation?
No,
Can that be a ground?
Marriage is for better, for worse. So even if there's no procreation, that is not a ground for divorce. Unless you can prove that the man had a health problem. So, or the woman doesn't have a womb. Doesn't have ovaries, for instance.
Okay.
Doesn't have the things that could make her to conceive or maybe to get pregnant.
So that
or the man
could
has
also
a health
be
problem, the man...
That could also be passed as an act of deception.
Where if the person is aware,
the spouse should have been aware before that,
no,
or if the man can prove,
that this person was aware
and deceived him into marrying her.
It is easy for that marriage to be dissolved.
Okay, on that.
But if
deception as a factor.
even if that the person they are not aware, you just tell God that, look, the reason why you entered into this marriage was not just for companionship, was also because of procreation. And this person does not have what it takes to have children. So for that reason, this marriage should be dissolved.
All right.
You know, the court cannot even force. Most often than not, most people that approach the court for a marriage dissolution, most often than not, they get it granted, because it is hard for the court to force an unwilling partner on a willing partner. But what happens is that before a lawyer files in the High Court, for instance, you know, you must show that you have tried to resolve the issues before the.
I think we'll delve deeper into that aspect of what can void the contract or the marriage under the Act. But let's look at the benefits, because I watched you when you were talking about the benefits that seem to, you know, liberate the woman within the four walls of the marriage. Now, I want to hear some outstanding benefits, because the woman having the certificate or the document in her bag or in her box could show a whole asset that she has. Does it mean that if there's a marriage under the Act among couples, the property of the man, so to speak, is under custody? Is kept in the custody of the woman?
It is not true.
Is that one of the benefits?
It is not true. That is not true.
Okay, so can you enumerate some of the benefits
that
the woman enjoys
there may be
outside keeping the man alone to herself?
Yeah, no, but the benefit is that the woman is more protected from domestic abuse.
Oh, are you saying that under customary marriage,
even customary marriage,
the man can do otherwise?
No, of course the man cannot.
Okay, so there's nothing peculiar about that.
There are things that men do. You know, in men who have maybe men who married under customary law. Yeah. There are things that they do
and easily get away with it.
That they can easily get more away with, because our culture, our tradition, do not condemn those things.
Our tradition seems to be comfortable with the men in charge.
Yes.
Okay, so under the marriage under
the man is completely in charge.
But now let's look at marriage under the Act by what you just said. Let's commit you to what you said.
Yes.
Marriage under the Act, a man is not completely in charge.
Where I cannot really say that way.
The woman stirs the soup.
No, not really. It is not so true. You know, but of course the man is in charge, but the woman has a lot of protection from the law, because the law will always protect the weak from the strong. Okay. And the law will see the woman as a weaker vessel. Okay, we have situations. A weaker party.
Let's look at the aspect of property defense, for instance. We have situations where women have their own property, even before they got into the marriage. Yes. And now they are into the marriage. In some cases, they will tell you that, well, the woman cannot sell the property without the knowledge of the man. Otherwise, that could be a factor to void the marriage. Is it so on marriage?
No, not really, because it is her own. And she had this even before, even just like the man, properties that the man had before marrying the woman cannot be considered as family property to be shared when dissolving the marriage. Oh. Because he had these things before. So the court will always, in dissolving, the court will take into consideration the property that both spouses had.
In the course of the matrimony?
No, before the marriage, they will look at all of that. Of course, there's no court that will say, oh, what you had before, you now bring it and share. No, it doesn't happen that way.
A situation where, you know, a whole lot, I don't want to lose any end, but let me just give benefit of the doubt, because a whole lot you said that raised a whole lot of multiple questions. Yes. But I could say that this could pan out into another episode, because marriage under the Act has a whole lot of topical and interesting questions.
Just like, you know, the law is a behemoth. The law is extremely big. If you pick an aspect of the law, you can talk about that aspect for so long.
For an age.
Yes.
And basically, we know that the viewing audience, they will be coming with a race on questions for you. And I say, go to the number, and it's on the screen, and get it. It doubles as the SMS number, and of course also as the WhatsApp, and you can pouch your messages in there, pouch your chats in there. You can call us after the program, not now. I also have the opportunity to enjoy this conversation with the managing partner, Noah Attorneys, based in Benin City, Nigeria, a firm of legal practitioners. Now, let's look at this aspect of side chick. I know you said it's not codified in Nigerian constitution.
Yes.
We see situations where men want to do everything possible to be discreet. Underline, to be discreet. But women, they know their men. Even when they notice that their men are involved in such, they just, maybe some of them, keep a blind eye. We've seen situations, scenarios where even the woman that knows about it want to nose around to the point of even pursuing after the man, chasing after him and the woman in the vehicle. We had a case like that, you know, where the lady got an accident and died in the process. Now, if the woman has an evidence to show that this man is embarking, is on an extramarital affair, not necessarily getting married to the woman, but having a side chick, if she tenders it in the court, is it tenable?
To what end?
For divorce.
Yeah, yes, of course. As, you know, I said
For
now.
extramarital
No,
affair.
I said before that adultery is a good ground for divorce. So
Okay.
if the woman, but how many women really wants to divorce to leave their marriages? So
For
that is
that
the
reason.
reason why most often, you know, some women who know that their husband are involved in philandering activities or are involved in extramarital affairs, they just keep a blind eye. They pretend not to even know. Most times they just allow him, so long as he doesn't use it to disturb the home, they are okay with it.
Because they may suffer more if they even want to void the
only thing
marriage.
they can actually do with it is just to go for divorce. And, you know, what can a woman get from the estate of the man if she goes for divorce?
For divorce.
Because you know that Nigeria is not as organized as maybe Europe and
Developed politics.
America, where a woman will just go and she will become a multi-billionaire, a woman that is married to a billionaire. Because here, many of the property, many of the estate of the man will not even be known. There's no way of knowing them. So to be able to know this is what this man is worth, and this is what this woman is going to get at the end of the day. I mean, even some Nigerian businessmen, they hide their investments so well that it is hard to statutorily really know what this person is worth. So to what end?
Okay.
Do you want? Do you want
that could be the reason why
do you want the
women will
marriage
not
to
go after
dissolve
that chase?
and the children? You know, most time when you have these divorce cases, it is the children that will suffer at the end of the day. So that's why women sometimes just leave.
Keep a blind eye.
Yes, and we just move on. And some maybe retaliate at the end. So you have nowadays you have far number of adulterous women in Nigeria today than we had like 20 or 30 or even 40 years ago.
You spoke about 2 years, not consummating the marriage.
Yes.
In 2 years.
Yes.
I don't know why you said 2 years. Is that what the law says?
That is what the law says.
Okay. What about in the course of having consummated the marriage? In between, there's a huge gulf of not even coming together.
Yes, that
is also a reason to void.
It's also a ground that the man has failed to meet his duties, the obligations to the woman.
Should the man
no, there's no hard and fast rule about it.
And there's no number of times.
But if you can show, of course, yes. So there's no number of time. But of course, the court will have to look at it. Oh, maybe in 1 year, the man will only, have carnal knowledge of the woman, maybe twice a year. That is unnatural.
That's very unnatural.
Yeah, that is unnatural. So it will be a good ground for the marriage to be dissolved.
Under the marriage, for marriage under the Act, do you swear to the fact that it is for better or for worse?
It's for better or for worse, but the person has to also be respected. I have currently, I'm doing a couple of divorce cases currently that we are doing, maybe our law firm, maybe about 5 or 6 currently. And a lot of them have been because of abuse from the woman. There's a particular one, there is, 2 that are abuses from the wife against the husband. You know, many people think that a woman is mostly domestic violence is mostly from the man, but it is also from the woman, because there are some we are doing that domestic violence, abuse from the woman against the man. And there are some that the man, you know, some men will just marry and travel abroad. So if a man has consistently stayed away from the wife 3 years and is not coming back, it's also a good ground to dissolve the marriage.
Oh, for a space of 3 years?
Yes, at least 3 years. So that's what we are doing now. That's 4 years, some are 5 years. They go abroad and they can't come back. So, you know, the statutory marriage is well regulated. Is well regulated.
Okay, well,
to create balance in the society, orderliness, because it is the family unit that is the fulcrum of the society, and the law exists to create orderliness and balance in society.
Okay, if we are looking at the cases of divorce, for instance, to what extent can the woman occupy the estate of the man if the marriage has to be voided? In terms of the assets, because I know basically when there is a divorce,
she will get
the
a
woman
share.
gets a share.
She will get a
percentage?
share. No, it doesn't follow. There's no percentage.
Oh,
yes.
I was thinking it was
but
like
if the contribution,
50%,
if the
of the estate.
contribution had been 50-50, of course.
When you mean contribution 50-50?
If the contribution in terms of, there are a lot of things, maybe sometimes a woman might not even be a working woman.
Exactly, because
So
marriage
what is
doesn't
our
mean that the woman must
What is the
bring
contribution?
house to the table.
What is the contribution? It is her emotional contribution.
Okay.
It is the way she takes care of the children, takes care of the home, to be able to give the man the mental alertness to focus on his business. So in Nigeria, you know, of course, we not just, but they will go for what is fair. They will go for what is fair. But you know, I said just now that it is hard to really know the estate of the man, to be able to calculate, quantify the estate of the man or the assets of the man, the assets and liability. So how do you now intervene to be able to say, okay, this is what the woman gets, this, you know? So that is the point.
I think at this juncture, we must say that the very sensitive question we'll be rolling to the next episode will be, if it happens that the man is seen as committing what will be necessary as a tool for the woman to void, for the marriage to be voided, then we'll be looking at the consequences that the man will be faced with. Or if the man is seen as committing adultery or bigamy. You get that?
No, bigamy.
Okay.
Yeah, bigamy is I mean, to marry. What is bigamy? I already said it just now.
Okay.
It is for a man that was married under the act to go on and marry somebody else.
Exactly. So we will.
So
be
you cannot have more than one wife.
We will be looking
under the act.
we will be looking at the consequences or the punishment for such offenses that is attributed to the man for committing that act. But that will be in the next episode.
Yes, we also look at other questions that they may throw up. We'll treat them next episode.
Yes,
and so again, we'll just use that period to look at all the questions they throw up under marriage.
And again, the last question: who are the lawyers, or what specific lawyers? Are there some very streamlined professional lawyers that can attend to such issues? You know,
in Nigeria, you know, we've not reached the point where lawyers specialized in particular areas, in specific areas. Like you have for instance, in the USA, where you have lawyers who are divorce lawyers.
Okay, but this is an issue before
so
the NOAH
most times we have of course. So we have general practitioners most times in Nigeria, but you know, we also have lawyers who have some specialty, who have some more of their focus.
Thank you so much.
In the area of divorce as well.
Thank you so much, Daniel Osa Ogbege. He is the managing partner of NOAH Attorneys based in Benin, Nigeria. And of course, it's a firm of legal practitioners. I am Philip Omo Gupon. Like we both said, we'll see you same time next week where we treat your reactions on Law and You. Do stay.